Good morning, everybody. Morning. Charles here with another installment of Dispatcher 101 Training for Beginners. Let's see who we have here. People are coming in as we speak. Al, Troy, Gabriel, Denise, Talina, Patricia. Let's see. Patricia is, I'm assuming, from the Philippines with Gabriel. Okay. All right. More people joining in. Give it a second. Hope everybody's doing okay, doing well, learning the ins and outs of dispatching, starting out, building up your book of business, so to speak, your clientele, or building up your one client. Maybe you have one owner-operator that you're moving loads for. You know, that's how it starts. You move your loads for your one owner-operator pretty steadily, and then before you know it, you're duplicating that that process. So I'd like to welcome everybody to Dispatcher 101 Training for Beginners again. I made some changes to the website, and I took down Internet Truck Stop. As you know, that one was, without going into too much details, it was breached. So we had to take it down. I got an email from the security team at Internet Truck Stop, so I took it down. But I put others up. So, and then I emailed all the members of Dispatching 101 Training for Beginners copies of the logins, because they're not going to be on the website. You can click to the links for the, good morning, Gwen, good morning, Troy, good morning, Gabriel, good morning, Al. You can click the links to get to the load boards, but you won't be able to see the passwords. That's why I emailed everyone their own the password, so you guys will have it for yourselves, so it won't be glaring and blasting all on the internet and stuff like that. Especially when I record, people can go back and actually see that stuff. So but I also I made some changes to the website a little bit. Let's see here. Good morning, Darius. I just saw you popped in. Kalia, I guess I'm assuming you are a guest. That's the first time I've seen that name. Good morning, Sergio. Sergio, you're doing very good with the broker side. Instead of sending out a lot of emails to the potential shippers, to try calling them as well. That way we'll see if they're more updated shippers, because when we get when you send me those responses and I send it to the broker, she's reaching out to them, and there is different types of responses that we're getting. So, but I'll talk to you off we'll table that, you and I, on Sergio. So good morning, Darius. So the changes to the website, if you guys have not noticed, good morning, Kalia. I'm assuming you are a guest. Are you part of the National Dispatchers Network, or are you just someone invited you to join in and get an idea of what we do and stuff like that, or RBBS? RBBS. All right. Well, welcome. Hopefully you will learn something over here as well. I'm just going to do a little overview of what I did to the website, and then we'll go into the training. Let's see here. People are coming in. All right. 14. So when you first come to the website, www.exodusdispatchingandtraining.com. Good day, Patricia. come to the home page, I put consultations, contact us, and I'm gonna change up consultations so to be more user friendly. But there's where people who are members as well as non-members can receive consultation. The consultations are free for members of Dispatching 101 training for beginners, and then there's a half hour and hour charge for those who are non-members. Contact us. You know, you just there's a form there. You just enter information and click submit, and it'll send the information over to us. The non-members area, starting May 1st, people who are not members of Dispatching 101 training but still want to have access to some of the things in the back office like the load boards. This is the non-members area. I'll go back briefly. Testimonials, when people want to say that, you know, what do they think, whether it's positive or negative, what do they think about the platform. And then the website design, I'm considering, because people have been asking me to design their website as well, so I'm considering a pricing point, and I'm just throwing this out here just to get some feedback. So you can come in there and read about that. I built my website on the Wix.com platform, so if you kind of like what I'm doing and how it looks, you can reach out to me for assistance. This is the guest area for non-members right here. So if you go on the home page and you hit, hey Moni, oh yeah, I want to welcome Moniece. She just joined Dispatcher 101 training for beginners today. So you guys welcome her. Congratulations and welcome. Hopefully you will learn as much as you need to start dispatching carriers. So the non-members area is right here. They will log in with the non-members login. And this is tentative to February. Not February. I'm sorry. May 1st is coming into effect. Hopefully. So when you get to the non-members area, there is a YouTube subscription. You know, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you click the button. It'll take you to a separate YouTube page where you can subscribe. Dispatching 101 training for beginners, and then you can simply subscribe. Also, the Facebook group, Dispatcher 101 Facebook group. So if you click that button, that blue button, and log into Facebook, it'll take you to the Dispatcher 101 Facebook group, and you just click join there. So you'll be able to do that. But as far as the non-members, what they'll have access to are the load board. This load board section here, right here. So if you click this, it's going to give you a host of different load boards that you can log into. So we have ComFreight, and once you join, you'll receive the logins for that. You click the next button. The next load board is Truckers Path. Next load. So I've changed the format so the load board access will be easily. It seems more user friendly this way when you click. And in each section, if you click it, you just click the link, and it opens up another tab to that load board. So, and going on, Hotshot Carriers, you click that link, it opens up to the Hotshot Carriers load board. Hotshot Carriers, coincidentally, is here, and then you go and you find loads. Under Find Loads, you hit Member Find Loads, and then it takes you to the login information. You log in, and then you start to find the loads for Hotshots. You select a specific state, let's say Ohio, and then you view the loads only in Ohio. If you notice here, the Hotshot loads in Ohio, where they're picking up and where they're going to and things like that. So that's the Hotshot Carrier load board. So let me go back. Well, some of these you guys are already familiar with, but ComFreight, I'll log in with my information. Because if you don't have a login to ComFreight and you try to use the free side, you won't be able to get the details of who to call for that specific load. So, and then you got some loads that are direct shipper that posted the loads, and then others are brokers. So you hit, of course, if you're not familiar with navigating ComFreight, you just log in and go to the load search. And then you just put your information in and find a load. Say, for example, one of these loads you wanted to look at. So you just go to the details of it. And now you can either bid on it, or here's the target rate. And it has other details about it. You know, the amount that was submitted, different information, the map of where it's going, detailed information about it. And you can actually close that load up by clicking. Let's go back to load search. Right here, clicking out of it to close it up. So close this one. And it actually gives information about the rates and things like that. So this is ComFreight. Some of these loads that are posted are direct shipper loads, others are brokered loads. So if you usually got a bid on it, sometimes it can be considered a shipper load. So we log out of there. So that's ComFreight. And this is in non-member section. So non-members on May 1st, if you want to join, if you're not joining for $299 or $249 to be a member of Dispatcher 101 Training for Beginners, you can join for, you can pay, I think it's $50 to join as a non-member, and then I think it's like $9.99 a month to maintain access to the non-members area where you get access to these load boards while you are a non-member. Okay. And then also you'll be able to log in as guests. You'll be able to log in as guests. And those pricing points are not etched in stone yet. It may be like $50, $9.99. I've been talking to some financial people. 50 at $9.99 or 100 at $13.99 or something like that. But you pay the one-time joining fee, either 50 or 100, and then you, as a matter of fact, I think I need to switch that number up. That makes a lot of sense. So if you join at $50, you pay $13.99, or if you join at $100, you'll pay $9.99. So I think it's the cheaper. You pay the larger amount to join, but you pay the cheaper monthly subscription to maintain. I think that'll probably be the one to go with. So, and then of course you'll be able to log in as guests to the trainings, which is what we're doing now. So here, and of course you just click the blue link. It'll open up to join the free conference call, and then you just join the meeting and go from there. So everything I'm trying to make as user-friendly as possible. And then also for non-members, there are the truck router feature here. You just click the screen, and here it takes you to the truck router. And this is a free online application. You just put your information in. It has a manual showing you how to use it, so you guys can read that for yourself. So these are some of the features for the non-members. Now, members get, obviously, they get more. They get the tools and resources, all the trainings, the modules, things like that. Non-members will not receive any of that. They just get the bare minimum as far as getting access to some of those load boards so they can start looking for loads. They can join the trainings as guests and then get the truck router. So that's a feature for non-members. Okay, so any questions about that? And that's coming, implementing May 1st. Now with Dispatcher 101, those who join that, or this, I should say, there's Dispatcher 101. Of course, we got the YouTube channel, we have the Facebook group, and then in the beginning page, you have you must first enroll prior to accessing resources. So if you click enroll here, it'll take you to the enrollment page. Or you can just simply go to the enrollment page here. So it's the same thing. So I'm trying to make it as user-friendly as possible for you guys as far as navigating, so you guys can find things a little bit easier. And then starting May 1st, those who are members now, this $19.99 membership subscription does not apply to you. you guys are grandfathered in. You've already paid your $249 or $199 or whatever the entry point that you entered in. So this announcement does not apply to you. This is after people who join May 1st. They'll pay the $249 single member fee to join, and then a month after that date that they pay. So say someone joined, say today was May 1st, and someone joined today at the $249. June 1st, they will start receiving, they'll get an invoice for $19.99 if they decide to maintain subscription to be able to access the resources, the tools and resources in the back office, all the trainings, forms and documents and things like that, training videos and stuff. That's what that means. And it's going to be a lifetime membership. So as long as you pay the subscription, you can stay in as long as you like. I thought about that 7-week or 8-week certification program. I said that's probably not a good idea because you got people who want to maintain and want to know this more than 7 or 8 weeks. There may be people who need to have the trainings ongoing and continue to come in as a reference. You can use it as a reference. So if you maintain $19.99 a month, you'll always have access, and this will be a reference point to you to come back and refer to, get some refreshers and things like that. And of course, the platform is going to be evolving. I'm definitely adding more to it, but so there, okay? So so Dispatcher 101 beginning page here. So if you click here inside this little graphic, Exodus Dispatching Training, welcome to the Dispatcher 101 Training for Beginners platform. Scroll down, it tells you the purpose and goal. You can read that. The goal and purpose of this platform is to assist and provide beginning dispatchers within the National Dispatchers Network, as well as others who are not in the network but expressed an interest in learning how to dispatch, a place to learn the basics of independent dispatching in greater detail. And then this platform will cover forms and documents, the workflow of dispatching, which is broken down into 4 modules: carrier acquisition, load boards, booking loads, and invoicing. The Dispatcher 101 ebook and details, carrier searches, load boards. So you click in here, it's going to open up. Welcome to that. You click over. I give you a training intro. You can click the next image. I give you a little promo. Click the next one, the same thing, a little promo about the company, just a little commercial, kind of help you make a decision. Okay, and that's under the beginning part. Here also too is where people who join, as a matter of fact, if Moni or Moniz is still on this call, you need to, yes, you are, Moni. You would need to, I sent you an email where you need to, I said if you haven't already, go and set up a login. You would do it here on this page here, over here at the login and sign up. And this is for anyone who joins the platform for the very first time. After you enroll and pay that, whatever the price was, you'll get an email from me. I'll reply to the email that you paid under, and then I'll send you a copy of the 3 ebooks, the glossary, and now I'm going to attach the Word document with all the passwords to the 10 load boards that are in the back office. And then I'll also tell you, I'll attach in the body of the email the links and the information of how to join the free conference call, which is where we're on now, and I'll attach you instructions about coming in here and setting up your email and password to get access to the back office through the web portal, which is right here on this page. Over here, you click login and sign up. By default, it says log in, but if you notice under here, new to this site, setup, if you click setup, because you're like in Moni's case, you're new, so you would hit the setup. Login is going to switch to sign up now because you're doing it for the first time. So then you will enter your email and password, whatever password you want to use to log the website tools and resources, hit sign up. It'll send me an alert in the webmaster's back office, and then I'll go ahead and approve that, and then you can log in with that email and password credentials. Once you sign in once, you have access to all of the features that you need to log into. You don't have to log into every separate one like in Freight Broker, but in Dispatch you log into everything. So next, now it's enroll. If you want to enroll, this is the page to enroll in or under. And I got a video talking about enrolling, and I'm going to add the specials into the like a slideshow format, so you won't have to scroll down here. So I'm going to change the format of this page too. But this is the enroll page. I only have 2 pricing points. One is the regular $249 enroll one-time fee, and the other one, if you got like a call center, you get up to 5 members for $9.99 to get the same level of training. And then again, May 1st is the $19.99 subscription after that point. You guys who are already members, you grandfathered in, you don't have to worry about paying $19.99 at all. So next, I put a live online dispatch training link. It just simply takes you here. So basically, if you want to get on the training, go to the website. You don't have to have a login to access this page. This is an open page. So you just go to the website, click the live training, and then click the link to join, and it takes you to another tab, and you can join. So try to be as user-friendly as possible. So from workflow of dispatching all the way down to training videos will be where a person would need their login and password once they sign up. And you only need to log in once, and you have access to everything from that point on. So are there any questions about any of that so far? All right. Now, I emailed last night all the members of Dispatcher One-on-One Training that's in my spreadsheet copies of their passwords to the load boards. So let's go to load boards, and so the look and feel of the module 2, which is load boards, has changed. You got the load boards, and then you have module 2 videos, and then of course you got the actual module 2 PDF and the quiz, and how to navigate load boards, and that's pretty much it. I try to condense it. So under the videos, if you just click the video section, it'll take you to the videos that we have under that section thus far.
Good day, all good.
Okay. But under the load board section is where I want to focus on a little bit today. So if you click in the image under Mod 2, if you first log into the load board sections of Module 2 on the site, you come to load boards, you click anywhere in here, it takes you to the next page, and now you get an option of different load boards that we have in here now. And these are load boards that I'm actually paying for. Some of them are free, some of them I'm paying for. So Load Solutions, Truckers Path, Next Loads, 123 Load Board, Hotshot Carriers, Free Freight Search, DAT Truckers Edge, the A1 Freight Matching, Direct Freight Services. I actually got the logins for that, so Com Freight. So that's 10 load boards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 load boards. So you have 10 choices and 10 options to try to find loads for your carriers. And then, of course, in each section that you go to, you'll see the name of the section and then the link to open up a separate login for. So, and then you guys who are members, you have the logins emailed to you. If you notice, the login information is not on the website. I'm not exposing that anymore. So, especially when I'm recording and doing trainings. So, oh, I put too many S's in there. Sorry. There we go. Hello, Luis. Thanks for joining. So here's an example of one, load solutions. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with load solutions, but here it is. You focus on the main menu area, search for loads, search for trucks, post loads. But the only one you need to focus on as dispatchers is the search for loads area. So you just search for your loads. You can go back to the main menu. There's even a search shipper database. And you can look, if you want to search for shippers that maybe deal directly with carriers as opposed to brokers, then you can do that as well. But let's go back to the main menu. Oops. Search for loads. So pick up date, today. Someone give me a load, origin, destination. Give me a real load that maybe you guys are looking for. Does anyone have a carrier that they're trying to find a load for right now as we speak, or this week, or within the next couple of days, or anything like that?
Hey, Charles, can you check under Fresno, California?
Who is it, Sergio?
Yes.
Fresno, California. What's the deadhead? How far? Like 100 miles, 50, 25 miles?
100.
Okay, 100. And then where does he want to go?
In the Texas area.
Okay, so no particular city, but just Texas?
Yes, just Texas.
Okay, so I'm going to leave the city blank and select Texas as the state. And then what type of truck?
It's a van, dry van.
Okay, van. And then the radius, Texas, we'll say, I guess 102 also, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You have nothing. Let's search it again. And when is that, for today or when?
He's looking either for today or tomorrow.
Okay, so let's do this. We got solutions open. Let's go to, we can try next loads. Open up another tab for that. We can also try 123 or free freight search. We can open up a tab for that. So I'm going to log in with my login, and you guys have my login. So search for loads. You said Fresno. And I'll put Texas because you had no uncertain terms for a city.
Yeah.
Radius, the radius you said 100 miles. And the equipment is van. So, and the pickup date, when is the pickup date? You said today or tomorrow?
Today or tomorrow, yeah, either day.
All right, we'll do today.
Okay.
And then we'll see what pops up in here. And there's nothing for a van. So let me go to truck stop, which is not on. I had to change the email and password completely for Internet Truck Stop. And I changed it twice, and someone still breached it, so I had to call the people. That's how serious it was. But so they said, well, let us monitor it for a minute, and then I said, okay. So right. So let's check. Fresno, California for a van, and anywhere in Texas, right?
Yeah, anywhere in Texas.
Okay, so there's 24. But we got to choose, okay, for tomorrow, the 4th, coming out of Visalia, California, which is 40 miles from Fresno, going to Mesquite, Texas. It's not paying really well. $1,600. What's the cents per mile? You got $1,600, and the loaded miles. I'm not going to even count the 40 deadhead, because when it's less, when it's 50 or less, I don't add the deadhead into the calculation of the cents per mile. That's just me. But what is the cents per mile in this case? You got $1,600 to calculate cents per mile. For those who are guests, you take the rate that the load is paying and divide it by the loaded miles. Now, sometimes you add in the deadhead miles, especially if it's between 50, if it's over 50 miles deadhead from where you're picking up and where you're located, then you add that deadhead number, in this case 40, to the loaded miles, which is 1,537. But I'm not going to add the 40. I'm just going to take the rate, 1,600 divided by the 1,537.
Yeah, I got 104.
That's $1.04. So what does your carrier want per mile?
He's looking at somewhere between the $2 and $2.25 per mile, just because of the fuel charge in between Texas and California is somewhere between $3.50, $3.60 right now.
Okay.
I know the other day we were talking about $3 and $3.07.
Oh, the cost of diesel.
Yes.
Yeah. So remember the formula? So he's trying to figure out how much. So he's factoring how much he has to spend and pay for and still make a profit. So that's how he came up with his cents per mile, to determine what that is.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the ones that don't have rates listed, you may want to call them and see what their numbers are, like Total Quality, BNSF. You know, you open up information on that and then call them, see what they say. Let's log out of this one and well, let's keep it open. Let's go to one, two, three. One, two, three, find loads. Right. Have you navigated in 1, 2, 3 load board before, Sergio?
What was that again?
Have you navigated? Have you used 1, 2, 3 load board before?
I have, but just the basics. They only allow me to do 5 checkings per day. The free one.
Okay. Well, this one here is Fresno to you said Texas, so we'll just put Texas as the state and no city state for a van for today and tomorrow. Now, what's his does he have a 53-foot van?
Yeah, 53, and he wants to max that at 44 for the weight.
44, okay. So you hit search. So you got 9 results. And if you hit right here where it says offer, it'll list it in the numbers, the ones that show the rate at the top. So this is the same load that we just saw on the other load board, Internet Truck Stop. So if you click open it, it's the same thing, $1.04 a mile. The good thing about 1, 2, 3 is it gives you a little bit more detailed information, but you got to call. Now, the ones that don't have the loads, the rates posted, you will have to call and get that information. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that some of the loads that I see on one load, the loads that I see on one load page are also on another with the same amounts, you know, the miles and the pay rate.
You know why? Because brokers and or shippers post their loads on various load boards because they know carriers are looking at various load boards. So the more they get their load out there, the greater the chance of someone calling them about that load. That's why. So you're going to see similarities. That's not uncommon. Yeah, that is not uncommon. So you're going to see similarities. It's just different. Now you may come across a load board that'll have it a slightly different. But if there's loads with no numbers in it, you will have to call them. Like some people, I got one person I deal with, particularly at TQL. His name is Javier. He's treated me pretty good. Generally, the disposition at brokers with brokers at TQL is not pleasant. But if you see a load that you want your carrier to run and it's coming from TQL, then you just got to make a decision if you want to decide to go ahead and take that load. So, okay.
Yeah. I've been calling some of the ones that don't have a rate on it, and usually they're about the same as what we just saw, $1.04, $1.25, and for some reason or another, nothing has been on the load boards higher than $1.50. And if there has, maybe one or two, but they have a lot of stops. I found some that had 2 or 3 stops along the way.
And this is for a dry van?
Yeah.
Yeah, see the rates right now for a drive in, I guess the rates are dictating that it's only matter of fact, let's check that. Let's check that real quick. Matter of fact, let me go here. So there you go. So I just put it in Dallas. So let's do this. Let's go to a centralized, anywhere in Texas. I want to go to a central, what's a central city in Texas? Dallas is not, right? I think it's San Antonio.
It's San Antonio, yes.
That's what I thought. But let's look at the map and just to verify that. And hopefully you guys can see my screen. So Austin, San Antonio South, I guess Abilene, maybe San Antonio is South Central. Temple, Texas, let's say Austin. Well, Dallas, let's say Temple. Linda said, restate the comment about TQL. It's just that they're not a bad company. It's just sometimes you may come across a broker that's difficult to deal with as far as trying to book a load, trying to get a fair market price for your carrier to move that load for, Linda. That's what I meant. So here's the here's the broker to carrier spot rate. It's between $1.38 and $1.63 per mile, with $1.53 as a median. So that gives you an idea of your guide of what he's going to end up getting right now as we stand for the market. So that $2 it's going to be hard to get it unless he runs local runs right now for the for that lane. This is the lane that we're looking up. The Fresno to, like, I just put a city that's centralized in Texas. So it's $1.38, which is the minimum, to $1.63, which is the maximum for this lane. A lane is anywhere from an origin to destination for any type of equipment, whether it's a drive-in, flatbed, or reefer. So in this specific example, it's $1.38 to $1.63 with the median range of $1.53. So that load that was posted on the load board at $1.04 is well below this. It's not even meeting the minimum requirement. Remember that load? It was $1.04 per mile.
Yeah.
So the broker is not even giving you the minimum market broker to carrier spot rate for the market, whether or not they include the fuel surcharge. Even if you took the 30 cents out of the fuel surcharge, you take 30 cents from 138, that's still 108. So he's still 4 cents off.
Yeah,
so,
I see.
So,
and the mileage between Fresno and Temple is more or less the same as the other load that we were looking at, 1660. The other one was like 1,500 miles.
Right. Yeah. So by you knowing this as a dispatcher, you understanding the lane and the rates of the lane, you'll be able to go to the broker and kind of better negotiate. Well, wait a minute, the broker to carrier spot rate is between 138 and 163. Why are you trying to give me $1.04?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there are different tools that you if you have at your disposal, you can utilize and deal with the brokers a little bit more thoroughly. So that's going forward.
What's the difference between the one that you just used, the DAT power, to the DAT 360? There's more tools that you can use?
Well, DAT power is a broker. It's a broker level login. You got more options in that. You can post trucks, post loads, search trucks, and search loads with power, DAT power. DAT Truckers Edge, you can only do what carriers do. They can only post their specific truck and only search for loads for their specific truck. DAT power is more of a broker level login, because you may, as a broker or as a broker agent, you may post a load for your customer who's the shipper trying to find trucks. So once you post that load on DAT power, there's a feature in there where you can also see what trucks are in the area of that load you just posted. And you can just call them out right then and there and check their availability. Hey, I see you got a truck over here in the Fresno area. I just posted a load there. Are you still available? And then you can go ahead and immediately book that load as a broker or as an agent. So that's the difference. It just provides more high-level features than Truckers Edge. So speaking of which, see if this one's still. So this is that Truckers Edge. So you come into this screen here, you go to search loads, and we do the same thing, Fresno, and let's just say Temple, Texas. Now remember that number we had, that range at $1.38. I wrote it down, $1.38 to $1.63, with $1.53 at the median, right?
Yeah,
we got general, we got van, we just say today, and then everything else being the same. 44,000, you said?
Yeah, 44.
All right, and then 53 footer. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we got 26 hits. So over here in offer, we click the offer, it should bring up the rates that are higher. So, right? Let's do it again. Boom. Boom. Okay, so 2,200, 1,800, 1,600. So these numbers are a little bit different. Now this one here, we got this one exact match. It doesn't have a rate for it, but it's going from Lindsay, California, which is 61 miles, deadhead from Fresno, over to Garland, Texas, which is I guess 148 miles because I put Temple in as an option.
Yeah.
Now if I go back and edit this and just don't put Temple but just put the state of Texas, let's see what we get. Now we get more. We get 44 instead of 26. We get 44 and 9 exact matches. So we hit the offer and see which ones comes up, and hit it again. Okay, so here's the 9 exact matches. They all don't have a rate for them, but the other ones that don't match the similar ones, 35, you got numbers for. So you just got to see how far your guy's willing to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the trip miles, 5,500 at 2,200, but he got to go 219 miles deadhead, which is outside of his range. You said 100 miles, so he won't even consider that. He won't even consider going from Fresno to L.A. to pick up a load and take over to Houston, right? So So these are kind of like high. Here's one right here. It's for tomorrow, Fresno to Idalou, Texas. It's total quality, and it's 1241. It's for tomorrow. There's no rate for it. So if you click on this to highlight it, now this area here changes to what this here. So now you see 25,000 pounds is a van load for tomorrow. Has a post ID and a reference number, but it doesn't have a rate of what it's paying. So everything else is so if you're curious about it, but it's right in Fresno. Let's go up to the exact matches and see any. So the 9 exact matches are up here. Fresno to Plainview, still total quality. So yeah, you would have to consider and go from there. So
yeah, it's just about calling the total quality people and finding out what else they have in that lane. Maybe they have more than one load going out.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Linda just asked me to call TQL. You give me the MC number of your carrier, I'll go ahead and call TQL, acting like I want that load, and then we'll see how that conversation goes.
Okay, it's 968578.
Okay, what's the name of the guy? Well, never mind. You got to tell me that. You got to tell me that. Let's do the homework. Let me do my homework. Let me go to Safer. Let's go to Safer. And that's the MC number, right? So 968578.
That's the one.
LDH Express. Yep. All right. So he just got his authority, right? Apparently. Oh, no.
It's been renewed.
It's been renewed on the 16th. So he must have updated his UCR, his Unified Carrier Registration.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so LDH. Now I wish I had Javier's. Let me see if I got Javier's number in my phone from TQL, because I don't deal with Javier. But all these other ones, I don't know. Check out Javier. Because sometimes with larger companies, it's good to get one good person in that company and stick with them. But I don't have Javier in the phone, so let me call. Okay, so which one do you want to call on? Since it's your guy, any TQL one? This one here coming out of Fresno. Right here. Okay, so let's get some details of it real quick. Here's the post ID, because they're going to ask you. They're out of Ohio, so let's call TQL real quick. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Sergio.
Thank you for calling Total Quality Logistics. Your call may be recorded or monitored for quality assurance. If you're calling regarding a posting and have a post ID, press 8. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. If you're calling regarding an active posting, please enter your 6-digit post ID now.
6-digit
To
post
return
ID.
to the previous menu, please press pound.
Hey, TQ, how you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
I'm all right. Looking at a dry van load for today, seeing if it's still available out of Fresno, California, going to Plainview, Texas.
Yeah, it's coming out of Fresno,
Yeah.
and it's going to Plainview, Texas.
Right. Is that still available? Trying to get some details about the load.
Yeah, we don't know if it picks up today or tomorrow yet.
Oh, okay. It's posted for pickup today, so you still unclear.
So, yeah, I'm still unclear, man. We're waiting to hear back.
Okay. Do you have any other? Go ahead.
Would you be able to pick up tomorrow? Yes or no?
Yeah. I got a guy who's interested, he's trying to find something either for today or tomorrow. So I'm just trying to get some details before I let him know what's going on before he can decide. So.
Yeah, exactly. My rate's gonna be at like 16 on this, 15 on this, closer to 15.
So is it 15 or 16? 15.
15 is closer. Yeah.
And that's the 15 is the best you can do for that. It's going. What's the loaded miles? 1,200.
Yeah, it's around there. Yeah.
1,200. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me let him know that, and it's 25,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's your name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What's your name? Sorry.
Ryan.
Ryan. Okay. All right. Let me let him know.
Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. All right, guys. Unmute yourselves. So he told 2 lies. He didn't tell 1, but 2 lies.
Yeah.
So that's just proof right there. Linda, hopefully Linda, you still on the recording, Linda, right? Yeah, she's still in there. Okay. So I didn't try to give this company, I'm not going to say the name, I didn't try to give them a bad name. They gave it to themselves. First of all, he said 1,600 and he jumped down to 1,500. So he lied there, and then he said it's around 12. I said, what is it, around 1,200? He said, yeah, around there. I'm looking right at it. It's 1,263. So you see, you have to, right, not clear on the loaded miles, and so you have to be, as dispatchers, you got to be sharp because you're representing your carrier. So you have to be sharp. That's why you got that. Remember in the back office, you got the load details cheat sheet, some of the questions that you ask your the broker prior to booking the load, because this guy here, he was like, well, and they're still not clear whether the load is going to be available today or tomorrow. Well, I was ready to say, well, it's posted for today. So how could you not be clear if it's going to be ready today or tomorrow when you posted the load today? If you were unclear, you shouldn't have posted the load for today. You should have just not even posted the load at all.
Copy that. Yeah. The rate that he gave you with the 15. The rate that he gave you with the 1,500, it only comes up to 118 per mile.
Well, he said 16 and he jumped down to 15, so he's trying to make that extra money.
Yeah.
Linda just asked, what is the difference between loaded miles and trip? It's the same thing. The trip miles and the trip miles are the loaded miles. It's just a different terminology for the same thing. Linda. So if you see loaded miles or trip miles, it's the same thing. So, and what it means is from the time that you go to the place where you're picking it up and get loaded and then drive to where it's getting delivered, that's either the trip miles, the loaded miles, you're under that load, or whatever the terminology you want to use. That's what that means. Right. Well, Gabriel, you got to exclude deadhead from trip miles, because if that's the case, then this 61 wouldn't be here. So you gotta, if you want to get a real mileage, then you would add 61 to the 1529. So Okay? All right. But that's an example of a particular brokerage that, you know, you have to be, sometimes dealing with them is okay. I would say 70% of the times you're going to get the conversation that we just got on the phone from this particular brokerage that we just called. Okay, so guys, keep that in mind. 70% of the time, I'm not sure if they're training their guys, like cross-training them to have that same mentality across the board, or what. But it certainly seems that way. So, any questions?
No, it's pretty good. What I see is the more tools you have in order to do the research as far as what the load pays and stuff like that, you can also educate the driver as letting them know, okay, well, right now you can't get $2, you know, the rates are going at this rate, you know, maybe $1.50, and try to talk to the driver, and maybe, you know, instead of looking for loads for $2, I'll look for loads for $1.50.
Right, and you got to educate your drivers and say, yeah, the going rates these days, you're going to be hard-pressed to find long haul from in that lane from Fresno over to Texas that's paying $2 or near $2. And you let them know, like, the average rate nowadays, like, let's go into the Ascend TMS and look at that lane. Right, Talita made a good point. He may have to break even to get to a paying lane. Right, he may have to just take something to get to a lane that he knows, and that's the whole point. You know, try to put your carriers in lanes that you know are paying pretty good. Get them out of areas that are crappy. Like he's trying to get out of California and get to, most people are trying to get to Texas because they can get stuff out of Texas, like from Laredo, McAllen, the DFW area, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston. You can get stuff out of Texas going elsewhere, but getting to Texas is pretty cheap. So let's see. So if he breaks even, then we don't get paid. No, you still get paid regardless. You get paid regardless. He's just going to break even on his numbers, including paying you. He's going to break even. So you're going to always get paid no matter what the lane is paying the carrier. You're going to get your percentage of the gross. So let's go into Ascend. Yeah, you will get paid regardless. And let's look up a lane in the TMS system as it relates to that too. See, so if you got Ascend TMS, let's go to RateMate, and look up that same lane, Fresno, California, and let's just say Texas, US for a, what was that, a drive-in, and let's get the rates. So we got Ascend. Now look at this. This is in Ascend now, so it's different than the other ones. This is a TMS system, so look what it's giving you now. Line haul is $2.02, fuel surcharge is 28 cents. So now the question becomes, why is that different? Why is Ascend different than the DAT or what's posted on the load boards? Why do you think that is?
It's a big difference.
Now, could this be because it's the shipper's target rate, and then the brokers are taking their numbers off the top and reposting them on the load boards at a cheaper rate? Could that possibly be it? Because that's what it seems like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because the TMS systems are tied to your customers. Because when you have a TMS system, you're tied to your customer. Because when they send over load tenders, they send them over electronically. Right here, when you book a load, when you call your customer and say, hey, I got a load, they'll send a load tender electronically, EDI, electronic data interchange, and you'll go to incoming tenders, and you'll see that information inside of there, and then you can build your load. Now, this is on the broker side. You can build your load in there and then produce the rate com for a cheaper number so you can keep the spread if you are a broker. So this number may reflect the shipper's rate, and then the broker chopped it off the top to make his or her money and go from there. That may be the case, it may not. I'm just saying. Correct, Charles. How far down is TQL from the shipper? Example, JB Hunt distributes loads to brokers. TQL is pretty large. It's a large brokerage. TQL, Coyote, C.H. Robinson, JB Hunt. I don't know the exact pecking order, Linda. I know they're pretty up there. I would say top 5, top 10 maybe. But I'm not exactly sure, but they're pretty large. You could do a like a BBB search or a lookup of them to see their annual revenue, their number of employees and things like that, and go from there. So I'm getting a little, I guess, advanced, I guess, because we have people who are guests on here, and I need to make a reference to some of the basics again. I still see Kalia still on here, so I want to rehash a little bit. Moni's on here; she just joined, so I want to do and then yeah, Stephanie, Simone. Okay, hello, Stephanie. Okay, so. Dispatcher 101, back to basics. The overall basics, after you understand the workflow, basically the workflow of being a dispatcher is you find a carrier, however method that you use to find a carrier, whether it's cold calling, going to truck stops, going to trucking companies, word of mouth. You know, so I put that in a module called Carrier Acquisition, Module 1. So whatever way you doing that, once you get that carrier, you send them the dispatch agreement and profile. They send that back to you, signed and everything. Everything is signed. And they also send back to you 3 other documents, if not 4, that's needed to book a load. What are those documents for those who know that? What other 3 documents, if not 4, is needed every time you call a broker for your carrier who you have under agreement to book a load for that carrier? What are the brokers or shippers usually asking you for to get set up with their brokers to run that load then and going forward? What are those other 3 documents that's going to always be asked for, going to always be needed? What are those documents? Okay. It's not the rate con, Gabriel. The rate con you're getting from the broker. But prior to getting a rate con from the broker, Gabriel, right, Charles, is the certificate of insurance, the W-9, and the MC authority. So as a broker, to get the carrier set up in their brokers to run the loads, that particular loads and other loads going forward, they need these documents, the certificate of insurance, because they need to see, right, and the 4th one is if your carrier has a factory company, then the NOA is also one, which is the notice of assignment. That's the factory company's way of doing a credit check on the broker or shipper to make sure that they pay on time and that there are no red flags, no claims against the broker has been filed. Because if that's the case, then the factory company let the carrier know, hey, you might want to reconsider running this load for this person. We just found a red flag. So it's a safety net for the carrier, the NOA form. But the 3 main forms is the certificate of insurance, the W-9, and MC authority. Why? The brokers need, because the brokers' customers are the shippers. The shippers sell the loads to the brokers, and the brokers have to meet requirements that the shippers provide to them in the broker-shipper agreement. So some of those requirements that the shipper requires from the broker, which gets translated down to the carrier, is, as it relates to the certificate of insurance, maybe the minimum coverage for cargo is $100,000. Maybe the minimum coverage for liability is $1 million. So if the carrier who's signing up under that brokerage doesn't meet that requirement, if they want to run that load, they have to update their policy. With the W-9, of course, you want to make sure your carrier is a company They have an EIN number, a federal identification number, showing that they are a business. And then with the MC authority, obviously, your carrier has to have the authority from FMCSA and DOT to run either intrastate or interstate, to run general freight, within state lines or interstate lines. So these documents are needed for that purpose. So once those documents are returned along with the carrier packet filled out to the broker by you, the dispatcher, representing your carrier, then the broker is going to put that information into their system, run it by their compliance team for approval, get back with you with what's called a rate now, Gabriel, with a rate confirmation. Once you see that rate confirmation and you either get it to your carrier to sign or your carrier has allowed you to sign it on his behalf, sign his name on his or her name on his behalf, then and return that to the broker, that's when the load is officially booked. It's not when you get the carrier packet and fill it out and start. You haven't booked the load yet. You're just getting set up with the brokerage to book loads in the future. Once you get that carrier packet back and the other documents, certificate of insurance, W-9, and MC authority, it gets processed, gets ran through compliance for approval. The broker calling you back and say, hey, yeah, okay, you've been approved. I'm gonna produce a rate confirmation and send it to me. Make sure you guys read it over, sign it, and send it back. Read over that rate confirmation. Look out for any special instructions, any hiccups that you may overlook because you're representing the carrier. So you want to have those extra set of eyes looking at that to make sure that nothing is going to cause your carrier to be an inconvenience. You want to make sure that everything that's in the profiles your carrier sent to you is mentioned in the rate confirmation. Like for a dry van, it may have certain requirements. For a flatbed, certain requirements. For a reefer, certain requirements. So as you book more loads, you'll learn that over and over and over again. Now mistakes are going to happen, but the good thing about mistakes is that you learn from them. So once the rate confirmation is sent, make sure that the numbers in the rate confirmation matches the numbers that was for the load that when it was posted. So you go over that with your carrier, you guys agree on it, he signs it or you sign it, send it back to the broker, load is booked. So that's that's under carrier acquisition, module 1, that's under load boards, because in that process, that whole high level process, you covered 3 of the 4 modules: carrier acquisition, load boards, and booking the load. Module 4, invoicing the carrier, is simply when the carrier delivers the load and he gets his delivery receipt, or what we call a BOL, a bill of lading, L-A-D-I-N-G, he's going to send a copy of that to you, dispatcher, send it to the broker, because the broker has to send it to the shipper so they can invoice the shipper to get paid and then pay the carrier. But in any case, you get a copy at the dispatcher because you want a receipt, so when the carrier gets paid, you have proof of delivery, so now you can invoice the carrier for your 5%, 7%, 10%, whatever percentage that you decide as your own business, independent freight dispatcher, to charge the carrier for that service. Any questions? Okay, you guys, now that's high level. That's high level, but we break it down modularly in different sections because it's a process in each. So in each stage, like the first stage, module 1, which is one of the tougher stages of the 3 or of the 4, is you have to first get a carrier. You can't make any money without first getting a carrier under an agreement. So how is that done? Well, there are several ways. Let's see, Charles said, I had to invoice shipper from the factory company website. I'm assuming that you got a load for your carrier from a direct shipper and you didn't go with the broker. Right? Right. But I'm assuming you bypassed the broker, you just dealt directly with the shipper? You went through the broker, but you dealt with the broker, but you invoiced the shipper through the factoring company's website. So what did the broker do? Because you pretty much just did the broker's job for him, I guess. Or you may have stepped on his toes. It depends on how he interpreted that.
I think he means that he didn't use the broker.
Well, he said no broker. Okay, I invoiced the broker for the shipper through the factoring company. So he did use a broker. Yeah. So what about the carryout? He said, "Wait, I messed it up." Yeah, I think it's easier just to invoice if you're acting in the capacity of if you're acting in the capacity of a broker. Okay, replace the shipper with the carrier. So going back then, I invoiced the carrier from the factoring company's website, not the shipper. Okay, all right. Okay, now it makes sense. All right, I was great. Say, what is you doing? All right, because I was great. Say, are you acting in the capacity of a broker or are you acting in the capacity of a dispatcher? Okay, so you invoice the carriers through the factoring company's website. Right. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Okay, so back to carrier acquisition for the beginners. 1 second. This is Charles. How can I help you?
Hi, Charles. This is Kendra with Technicolor. How you doing, love?
How you doing?
Good. Thank you for asking. I was just calling because we've done some business in the past, and I just wanted to kind of rekindle the relationship with you. Are you guys, hold on 1 second, is your MC still 099391?
Yeah, with Katine.
You said what now?
Yeah, with the reefer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a good email address to start sending you guys my load list?
What email address do you have on file?
I actually do not have one. I just have a number, your MC, and your first name.
And what kind of loads? What company is this? I hung up on her. She hung up on me. They're calling me about some steady dedicated loads for a reefer. I'm trying to get the number. And let's see if she can come back. All right, never mind. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. So carrier acquisition is the first module and the first phase of the process or workflow of getting a carrier under agreement and the workflow of dispatching. So there are different ways to acquire carriers. First of all, we deal with the equipment types that we want to acquire carriers under. So for beginning dispatchers, you want to focus on 53-foot dry vans, 53-foot refrigerated trailers or reefers, they call them, and 48 to 53-foot flatbeds, right? Because those are the equipment types or the trucks out there that move the most freight. Sometimes they'll grab a hot shot or a Sprinter van or a straight truck or a transit van, things like that. I mean, if you're ready to deal with that headache, enjoy yourself. But if you want to make the transition into this space, into this type of transportation, or this side of the transportation industry, I recommend those three equipment types that move the most freight: the dry vans, flatbeds, and reefers. 53-foot dry vans, 48 to 53-foot flatbeds, and 53-foot reefers. So once you decide those equipment types you're going after, now what methods do you use to get a to get a carrier under a dispatcher agreement? So one of the main methods, of course, is the cold calls. You know, you call from either from a load board, or you just call from a Google search from a trucking company, or however you get access to resources where truck drivers have their phone numbers and emails and name of companies listed. Then you begin the process of calling them, vetting them out, and going from there. Cold calling is one. Of course, word of mouth. You may know someone who has family members and friends who's a truck driver, maybe in the need of a dispatcher. Number 3, you visit local trucking companies and or truck stops, text scripts, and then, of course, emails, which is the least effective. But back to the cold call. One of the resources that we use and train under here in Dispatcher 101 is the truck search feature on Trucker's Path. So let's see, let's open that up. So if you remember, you just click the link, it'll take you to another area here. Go ahead and log in. So when you first log into Trucker's Path, at the top you got loads, truck search, and GPS tracking. We click truck search because that's what we're looking for. Come to this area here. Cancel this out. And it's still thinking right here, So now we got 695, but we haven't really filtered out the specific ones we want to look for. Under pickup, we keep all states selected. If you are someone who wants to target a specific state, you just simply select that state, but it's going to minimize the number of carriers because it's just one state. So in order to broaden your horizon, I just leave all states selected under pickup. Under equipment, I click to uncheck any, and then select those 3 equipment types that we mentioned, flatbeds, vans, and reefers. And then under safety rating, I just uncheck conditional and just leave satisfactory as an option, and then hit to search again. So now it's going to be less than 695 once it's complete. $373. See that? So now you have different columns in here. Posted, the company name, how long ago they posted it, like a minute ago in this case, the name of the company, their equipment type. Their rating is always going to be satisfactory because we only selected satisfactory. The driver's name or the company driver's name, it could be the owner of the company, you know, single owner operator, or it could be a company driver for a trucking company, and then a phone number. At the end of each line, there is a little drop down. Just click that, it opens it up to give you more information. Here's where I do my extra vetting because I want to make sure that who I'm calling is not a part of a brokerage, because that's double brokering. Because when you're calling shippers and brokers for your carrier, and if your carrier is part of a brokerage, but you are not aware of that, that's double brokering. That's why we vet out the carriers to make sure that they are not a part of a brokerage before we get them under a dispatch agreement. Trust me, it saves headache. So here is the extra information. Of course, there's safety features. Everything is good and green. Here's the name. And then we copy either the DOT is either listed here or the MC number or both. DOT stands for Department of Transportation. It is a unique identifier given to the trucking company or the truck driver, the owner operator, by the Department of Transportation. In this case, the MC number stands for motor carrier. That's also a unique number, an authority that's given by the FMCSA to the trucking company or owner operator. FMCSA stands for Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration. So those are uniquely identifiable numbers, so that identifies the truck and trailers out there on the road today. All of them can be identified by their specific DOT or their specific MC numbers. So let's copy this, and then I go to the SAFER website, which is the company snapshot of FMCSA, get more detailed information about that carrier. Now you can, under the search criteria of the company snapshot, of course you have 3 selection criteria to look up under: DOT radio button, MC radio button, or the name of the company. In this case, specifically, it was DOT, so we copied that, and then we select DOT and enter that value for that. So here we go. This person has 20. I'm not going to call him because he's a larger company. I want the newer dispatchers to focus on between 1 and 5 or 1 to 10 trucks. So let's move on to the next one before I call someone. Let's do a flatbed. And with flatbeds too, you want to make sure that when you call the flatbed guys, you want to make sure that you don't get a hotshot person. So you ask them while you're in that conversation trying to get them under a dispatch agreement, you ask them the size of their truck. You know, do you have a 48 or a 53-foot flatbed? And he may say, oh yeah, I got a 40-foot trailer, a hotshot attached to a dually. You be like, oh my goodness, okay. So it's a 40, so that's a hotshot. It's called a hotshot. A dually is a pickup truck with double wheels in the back on either side. And it attaches to up to a 40-foot trailer, and it can hold about around 20,000 pounds, maybe a little bit more. Those are called hot shots. Let's copy this one. Now remember, this one's an MC. Remember I said it's going to be either DOT or MC, sometimes both. So be mindful when you look here. So now you select MC and put the number in to get feedback about that person. So now he's a 1-in-1. 1 power unit, 1 driver. So he might be his own company. Out of Pennsylvania. So on this section here, you want to make sure entity type just says carrier. If it said carrier / IEP or carrier / broker, you don't consider trying to call them, get them under agreement, because you're getting into the realm of double brokering. IEP stands for intermodal equipment provider. Those are like the port people, the containers and things like that, freight forward and all that stuff. So yeah, this is a 1-on-1. Let's give him a try and see where he's at, if he's even listening. So a live carrier call, live training for the guests, so you guys can hear, and you guys get a sense of, because you guys are going to get to a point where you're going to actually call carriers yourselves, because that's the whole point of you guys starting this type of business as your own independent freight dispatchers. The key word, independent. So I'm assuming at some point you're going to get comfortable enough where you're calling.
While your party is reached.
You reached Mark. Sorry I was unable to answer the phone. Can you please leave your name, number, and a brief...
All right, Mark is not available, so let's see if we can get someone. And this is the process that's done over again. You just copy their information, vet that person out to make sure that they're not a part of carrier, and that they're not part of a. And this is Jose Gomez. He has a reefer. They're not part of a brokerage. So call him up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 2083.
That's an Idaho number. So, but he's in right here. So he's in, what is that? Kansas. Okay, I was wondering what that was. All right, so that's the process of calling that. Let's see here. Let's see, Danielle. That might be the owner of the company. Well, she may be the driver. I'm not sure. Rushing. Let's see what. She may be the owner, and then the LR Trucking may be the husband's driver or something like that. Because that's what it seems like. But let's see. Oklahoma. Thomas. So Thomas Rushing, and then Danielle. So the company might be in Danielle's name, and then Thomas could be the person doing the company. So, any questions about carrier acquisition? Any questions about cold calling? Any questions about understanding the script of cold calling? Let me refresh the screen. Because one of these people that I called may call me back. Refresh this list and get an updated list and see where we can go from there. Okay, Rodrigo, I think that's his name. Let's see what he's doing. He's out in California, but where's Rodrigo now? He's still in California, and it's 9 a.m. over there. Because it's 9:30 over there, so he may just be getting into his truck. California. He posted a minute ago. He may call back. Let's try one more. This person's also in California. Get these Californians. It's early over there. I didn't want to, even though it's what is this? Middle of the week, Wednesday. Still early. It's 9:27. Taranveer Singh. Let's see. He's a dry van. He's in Bakersfield. We're trying to see where he's trying to go. Hello, is this Taranveer?
He's not here right now.
Oh, is he driving his truck right now? I'm calling about a load, if he's under a truckload or not.
Yeah, he's driving right now.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. I wasn't going to pursue that. He posted his house number apparently, even though he's driving, so didn't want to get too caught up with that one. Let me refresh again. And this is the process. This is the one of the processes, I should say, that's used to try to find carriers. There are others. There is the load quick freight or quick transport solutions, I think it is. Yeah, quick transport solutions. You can go in here under resources, and you can search trucking companies. and then you can narrow down, let's see, interstate, 1 to 5 trucks, 1 to 5 trailers, and then you select a specific state. Let's select a state like Ohio, and then search, and then see what results it comes up with. And then I would still kind of vet out their MC number, because 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1s, and then you have page 1 of 5, 764 results. So you have up to 5 trucks for each company, but in this case is 1 and 1. So you have a list of carriers here. Now, someone was saying that this one is some of these companies are either inactive or the site is kind of outdated. That's probably why you would vet, because FMCSA is not outdated, so it would show whether a person is inactive or not. And see, by it jumping to that, it tells me that they're no longer even listed on FMCSA. So let's look up a DOT and see if I get the same results from that person. See? So there you go. Operating status, they're not authorized. So this person right here, so it's always good. So SAFER, the FMCSA company snapshot, is your safety net. So wherever you look, whether it's Truckers Path or what other resource, if you get a DOT or MC number, do your due diligence and look the company up, because now they're not authorized to run. So there's no point, obviously, to even call them, because their authority, for whatever reason, is not active or is not authorized. It could be several reasons. It could be good reasons, well, not good reasons, but it could be reasons that maybe no fault of their own. It could be reasons of their fault of their own. But whatever the reason is, FMCSA posted the data for this particular company as operating status not authorized. So whatever technique you use, whether it's this one here or the truck search feature of Truckers Path, vet out to make sure that they are either authorized and that they're carriers, so you can go ahead and decide if you want to call those people to see if they want to go with a dispatch agreement and profile. So any questions? Q&A. We're down to our last 28 minutes, I guess. Any questions? Any guests have any questions about the process? Welcome, Anonymous, whoever you may be. Any questions?
Charles, I have a question.
Yes, sir. This is Sergio.
Yes. I know the definition of being an independent dispatcher, but how much of a difference is it between being an independent dispatcher and a company dispatcher, the one that handles the company's trucks? Instead of looking for trucks, you're only going to be looking for loads for those trucks, right?
Right. Well, the difference is, as an independent, you are responsible for your own expenses. If you don't work, you don't eat. With the company dispatchers, you're working under the trucking company, so you're getting paid either hourly or salary, and you are dispatching trucks for that company, either through the customers that they already have, or you're trying to bring in other customers to run those trucks, outside of the customers that they're already running for. So there's a big difference. There's more, I don't want to say pressure, but there's more responsibility as an independent, because you're running your own business, so you have expenses with that. You have to find carriers and everything, so you have to deal with all that. You're not under the umbrella, or I guess you would say protection, of a company, an established company. You're out here simply by yourself. That's why it's good to join like a network, like the RBBS, National Dispatchers Network, this one here, Dispatcher 101. So if you are coming out independent, now you have a group of other independent, like-minded people to join forces with, and we all grow and work together. But that's the main difference. You're more responsible as an independent with your own expenses, you know, maintaining your own company and stuff like that. So.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Lex said, are there any websites other than Trucker Path that has real-time updated information? I think Quick, the one we just had, the Quick transport solution, I don't want to say it's outdated. I just want to say that make sure that when you vet the companies, that you make sure that whether they're authorized or not. So this might be an updated site. The site is not outdated. It just may be that the company's information may be listed in here, may be outdated. That's why it's good to do a cross-check with a safer website. So, and I'm looking to try to find other resources for carriers. As a matter of fact, wait a minute. Let's use this. Let's use Safer for what? That's a good question. I forgot about this one here. Who asked that? Lex. So let's go to. I'm trying to remember what was that at? Oh yeah, licensing and insurance. So if you go to Safer. Let's start from the scratch. Let's start from scratch. You go to Safer, right? The Safer website, and you just type any person's information, because I want you to take you past this stage here, right? Because I'm not even looking for anything about this company. I just wanted to get to the place on the website where it took me over here to other information for this carrier, but we want to go to, let's click licensing, and then go up here. So now when you get to this area here, you can hit this choose menu option, FMCSA register. Here is where brand new carriers, or the FMCSA has listed new carriers who just registered and got their authority. So they're brand new carriers. So what better people to look for than to try to set up a dispatch agreement than those who just got started out or been running for maybe 6 months or less. Now you may have a challenge finding loads for them because of the age of their MC authority, but at least you get an opportunity to practice your script and talking to them and things like that. So here is, and I think it puts it in here in 2-week increments. So here's last week from the from the 21st to the 29th, and here's this week's. So the 3rd, here's a PDF report. So let's open that up. 84 pages. Right. So you want to, with the authority issue, Charles, I've had a carrier who had got his authority like about 60 days, and I called the broker, and one broker let him through because even though his customer was saying, okay, well, you got to have authority for at least 6 months to a year, he was 90 days, but he said, we'll let you through if you can show us within the last 30 days that you ran 3 loads successfully. In other words, show us the BOLs or whatever. And what successful meant is that you delivered on time, there were no accidents, and no claims filed against you. So that's the exception to the rule, Charles. Sometimes a broker will let a carrier through if they're at a place where they need that load ran. So that's the exception to the rule. But here, let's see, here's name changes. I want to go down to the section where it says, here's people who have their MCs and stuff dismissed, the case is dismissed, and this is FMCSA data. This is data. Yeah, it's 84 pages. So here's carriers who recently registered. So have a list of all the carriers. So let's go down to, I think it's, the terminology they use is, let's see, these are notices. Some people got notices, some people got revocations, discontinuances, and things like that. But let's go to, and I'm going to go down. Okay, right here. So these are non-fitness. These are motor common carriers and contracted carriers of household goods. So these are non-fitness. I want the fitness ones. So we're going to go to the fitness. Here we go. Here's where you focus at. So page 40. So you start from page 42 on. Here is the information about the carriers who are qualified under fitness only, which means that they're motor common carriers and contracted carriers. Now, if you were of property except household goods, and then you got passenger carriers, charters, and things like that. But look for the ones. Now, FF is freight forward. You don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on MCs. So let's get past here. MCs who are interstate. Yeah, ComFreight does have it. Let's go to ComFreight too, Linda. You want to go to MCs who are interstate and who are common except household goods, and make sure you look for that. If you decide to look on this resource right here, that's the criteria that you want to look for. Interstate, not intrastate, because intrastate means that you can only run within that state. You only have like a DOT, you don't have an MC. And then common carrier as opposed to contracted carrier, that's the type of authorities for the truck drivers. You have several types, I think 4 if not 5. Common carriers that can haul general freight for anyone. Contracted carriers, obviously they're contracted with some specific company. You have passenger carriers who runs the charter buses, those Chinese buses taking people to New York and things like that. School buses, city buses, those are passenger authorities. And then you have HHG, household goods. Those are like the moving companies. Like you see these huge moving companies like, what's that? Covan, Beckons, these huge moving companies that move furniture across country. So you want to look for interstate common carrier except household goods. That's if you are using this resource on the SAFER website to look for carriers. Okay, so that's the information. Then here's their information: the MC authority, the date that it got activated, and the name of the company and the contact person. So here's all the information here, and it's a boatload of it, right? So now here's the broker arranging property. So you want to focus on that. Right? But let's go to what Linda had mentioned, and let's go through the website portal under load boards to, what was that one, Linda? ComFreight? So if we go to our back office under load boards, we click the load board area, and let's go to, I think it was ComFreight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Linda, please. Let's go to ComFreight. Open that up. Yes, she says yes. Okay, very good. See what happens when we family. That's what family do. Someone falls, you pick them right up, right? As a matter of fact, you can actually print this out or download this PDF for all these carriers so you can have for yourself when you go to the SAFER website. So you ain't got to keep going to the website. And I'll show you how to navigate to that again. And then, matter of fact, I probably can download it. It may be too large to send across email. I was going to download it, save it to my desktop. You guys email me, say you want a copy of it, and I just shoot you a copy. Let's see if that works. Let's download that real quick before we go to ComFreight. Let's download it and put it on my desktop. Yeah, and it changes daily. It does change daily. But at least you'll have the previous days. So we'll call it what it is, FMCSA register. So if I show you how to get to it, you'll just be able to get to it and use it. So I download it so I can get out of this. Let me get out of Trucker's Path because I'm done calling. Because no one picked their phone up today, apparently. And let's log into ComFreight, which is in the back office of Dispatcher 101, right? So we don't. There's no truck search. There's a post truck, but there's no truck search feature. Now, unless RBBS has their version of ComFreight that has a truck search feature in there. Okay. Thanks, Linda. She just gave me the Linda, you are. So let me log out of here and then copy that URL that you just sent me.
Charles, Direct Freight has the window to look for trucks.
Okay, so we'll go to Direct Freight too. Let me copy this URL that Linda sent me in the here, and it will also open up Direct Freight service. Now I have a login for that too. So let's see. Direct Freight. Okay, so let's open up that window too. So we got ComFreight, but it just takes you to the truck search feature. See, I don't see when I log in. And let's log in under here. Here's log in. Now I can log in. With my login, I got to log in here, search for trucks. So if you want to search for trucks, now you just put where you want to search. So what, either by state. So let's do Ohio, just a Midwest state, because freight's pretty good out there. So then 100-mile radius. So now, do you want to search for trucks in a specific, going to a specific area, specific lane? Or, so that it varies how you want to look for those trucks. And if you go to the carrier side, you're just posting trucks and you're doing your own thing. You're finding loads. So if you do the carrier owner operators, you can't search for trucks because you are a truck. So you're doing it from the broker shipper side. You're searching for trucks. So you have to put a specific lane that you may want to look for that in and then see if you can find a truck there. So let's put like Dayton, Ohio. It's a lot of Daytons. I didn't realize that. But there was only one Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio to, let's say, Dallas, Texas. And let's say you want to focus on drive-ins, flatbeds, and reefers. Any ship date, any radius, let's say within 100 miles in each case. Search by origin city, right? And then hit search. Nothing. Or let's just say Dayton, Ohio, of those 3 equipment types, and it's just 1. Or let's just say Ohio, of those 3 equipment types, and it's 6. So you gotta pretty much play with this thing, man. Ohio, Texas. Let's search several states. Florida, some decent states. California. For those 3 equipment types, 34. Wow. But hey. But then now you have to, some of these are trucking companies. This is Gabe's Hot Shots. So, but this is a truck search feature. So now you open it up, you click it and open it up. And now these are trucking companies. So this is a trucking company and it doesn't list anything for me to look up just to make sure how many assets and things like that. So I wouldn't, me personally, I would probably not use this one unless I get more detailed information about it. Now with the ComFreight, what login, Linda, did you have for the ComFreight? Because my login is just a basic load, search, and post my truck. So it's a basic carrier login. Now, if you have a different login that's giving you the ability to okay, got it. If you have a login that's giving you the ability, because I'm assuming now that you have over here in this left column, Linda, you have near load trucks and post trucks, you have something that says search trucks. That's what I'm assuming over here. Now with mine, it's not, with my login, it just has a carrier. So you may have a broker level login, is what I'm assuming. Yeah, above load search, you have search trucks. So I tell you what, whenever you email that to me, now if you're willing to share that login with the platform, I can change that. That's your decision though. That way people can use that feature to search for trucks using the ComFreight, in addition to the truck search feature on Truckers Path. Yeah, apparently you don't. Apparently you don't have the basic one. You must have something different. Cause I got this one here. So let me see. Once you send it to me, I'll take a look at it and get an idea of which one you have, and then I may have to update the subscription that I have in order to provide that extra feature to give you guys the extra ability to have that in there. So I'll work on that with you and I, Linda, if you decide if you want to share that with, and then once I move to the subscription-based platform and people are paying a subscription, I can just pass those savings on to you for letting us add that to the platform. So, and that's part of what I do too. Sometimes when people share their logins and we put it on the Dispatcher 101, just help you with your subscription, paying for that monthly subscription, because I got a few monthly subscriptions I'm dealing with too. We got about 7 minutes. Any closing questions, comments, concerns? Beginners, just as a basic rule, just if you follow this process, the workflow in modular format, meaning that concentrate on getting carriers under agreement, then concentrate on understanding what they want in their profile, helping, and then finding that load, booking that load with the broker, and then on invoicing the carrier after that. Once you learn, master that process, you duplicate that with other carriers as you get them under agreement, and then you should be well on your way. If you are at a place where you find one carrier and you're finding them steady loads for, say you find one carrier, let me just give you some numbers here. You find one carrier and you move 3 loads a week from them at about $2,000 a load. That sounds like it's pretty doable, right? Pick up a load Monday, deliver Wednesday, $2,000. Pick up a load Wednesday, deliver Friday, $2,000. Pick up a load Friday, deliver the following Monday, $2,000. That's 3 loads a week for $2,000. Each load seemed like it took a day and a half, 2 days to deliver. So a day and a half to a 2-day load, minimum $2,000 is pretty fair to say. Or you can do 3 loads a week, $2,000, And then, or you can do 2 loads a week at $3,000. In other words, pick up a load on Monday, deliver Thursday, and then from Thursday to the following Monday. So 2 loads. So you can either focus on 2 loads at about $3,000 or 3 loads at $2,000. In either case, it's $6,000 a week for that carrier. If you're charging 10%, then that's $600 a week for you. And that's one carrier. So say you get a process down where you're used to doing that for that one carrier, either 3 loads at $2,000 or 2 loads at $3,000. It could be more because as rates build up, your numbers could go up. It can go up from $2,000 to $3,000. Or you may get some loads here and there that one load may pay $4,000, the other one may pay $2,000, or $4,000, $3,000. However, if you average between $6 and $8 grand a week on one carrier, that means you're getting between $600 and $800 a week for you if you are charging the 10% model of a dispatching fee. In any case, if you do that for that one carrier, say you can handle 5 carriers a week. If you just have a small independent dispatching firm and you're dispatching 5 carriers at that minimum $6,000 a week per carrier, is that pretty doable for you? Right? So if you $600 a week for one carrier, then you duplicate that process. Once you master that one carrier, you take that same model and apply it to the next carrier. So 2, and then 3, and then 4. You just master the process. And then as you're building on that, you're steadily coming up with strategies. Okay, I need to continue to move my carriers in these lanes that are paying pretty good, and then watch the process start to automate itself, because you're putting your carriers constantly in areas where the freight is pretty decent, and you're keeping them away from areas where the freight is not so good. That's the whole idea of dispatching. It's a strategic methodology that's used in order to place your carriers in areas where they need to run, how they need to run. So say you get 5 carriers now doing minimum $600 a week, and that's minimum. So now 5 carriers, $3 grand a week, and that's what you're bringing in. That's a week, 12 a month, 144 a year. And that's 5 carriers as an independent dispatcher. You're maintaining just 5 carriers. 5 carriers. So let me give you an idea of my carriers. Here's my carriers. I'm not maintaining all of them, but here's a list of my carriers. All these 5 folders are my carriers under my 7% dispatch agreement, and then I got some under 10%. So I got 2 separate percentages. But here's my 7% dispatch agreement carriers. So I just told you guys just 5. Now granted, I'm not maintaining all of these carriers at the same time. I may be doing like maybe 10 or so. And then every now and then the other ones will come up with like spot checks and say, okay, I need a load here, I need some help, get me out of here, give me a backhaul kind of thing. But on average, I try to maintain about, see, you build up a lot of carriers under agreement, and then you, sooner or later, the good ones, you can filter out the ones that you will maintain and become steady with, because they'll prove themselves running loads with you pretty good successfully, and you'll fill them out. You'll know who they are as you, over time, you'll know who those ones are. I got a separate list of 10, and I call them all the time. Okay, where you at? What do you need? What can I get you? Boom, let's book it, and then go from there. So, okay? Any questions? But you have to build to that point, guys. And it starts with one carrier. Starts with one carrier at a time. Let's see. Charles said, I just sent a dispatch agreement to a carrier off Confreight. First one to call from that site. Pretty good. Very good. Charles is doing it. Charles is, you're the broker, right, Charles? Yeah, yes and no. Okay, I understand. Yeah. Got you. Kalia said, thank you, very informative. I just started a few weeks ago. Okay. Yeah, just take your time. For those who started a week ago, a month ago, just take your time. I'm assuming you're under RBBS network. This is Dispatcher 101, so I try to break it down a little bit further, basically, more basic, telling you some of the, based off of what I've done. And it's going to get to a point, guys, where I'm actually going to start doing my recordings live where I actually book loads. You're going to see me actually on the phone talking, booking a load. I'm going to hold my paperwork up, showing you the carrier package, booking a load on the live training, so you actually get to see. Because I'm of the philosophy of what better way to train you than to actually show you what it is that I do, right? I mean, I can teach you till I'm blue in the face. I don't want to talk you to death, but I still call. I try to call carriers live so you can hear the lingo and understand how that dialogue goes. Try to call brokers live so you can hear the lingo and understand how that dialogue goes. So what better way to instruct than to actually do it. So what I'm going to do is start going forward. Once the rates start picking up a little bit better and the loads get booked more consistently, I'm going to start doing my recording because I'm downstairs at my kitchen table in the dining area. I'm going to go upstairs to the home office where my printer and all that stuff is up there and actually start booking the loads on the recordings within at least a 2-hour frame so you guys can get the actual mechanics of doing it. And then the strap, I got a big map behind me in the desk so you guys can see it. So you can see that, and I, you plot coordinates on the map so you'll know, because as you book with different brokers, you'll see, and this is helpful too. You'll see what lanes that they run in and those loads are paying and how consistent they are, right? And when you're talking to brokers, you'll ask them, okay, how often do you guys move freight out of this area? And they'll tell you because they're hoping, okay, you must be a large trucking company or you must have trucks in here all the time. So obviously, as a broker, they want those trucks to move for their customers who's the shippers. So you ask the broker, okay, how often do you move these loads? They'll say, okay, we move them once a week, twice a week, daily. We move them daily. So now, let's say like Columbus, Ohio is one of those areas that you have a broker that has moved loads for whatever equipment type out of that area. Your next one might be Texas somewhere. Your next one might be over here in Georgia. So now you can set up like a triangular coordinates to keep your equipment types running in those areas. What better way to do that? But that comes in time. So as you book loads over and over and over again with different brokers in different cities, try to write down and plot those brokers who have those freights in those areas that move pretty consistently. Ask those types of questions. You know, how often do you guys, I know I'm booking a load now, but how often do you guys move loads? Because I got other trucks that can be over here. They'll say, yeah, we move them all the time. You want our load list? Yes. Yes. So now this is how you establish your business. This is how you do it. You know, that's how you do it. So, but see, that comes in time though. As you're starting off as a beginner, you want to just learn the process of dispatching. And then as you become more intermediate and advanced, now you're starting to think from a business and entrepreneurial perspective, and you're saying, okay, let me ask these questions. Okay, this broker is always having loads coming out of here. So why don't I always put a truck in that area to always keep it running? And then coming down here, this broker has something out of here, coming out of here, over here. This broker has something out of here, going back up to my first broker. So now I'm plotting coordinates on the map, and I'm keeping carriers in those areas. And then when I sign up other carriers under a dispatch agreement, I place them in those lanes too. So now I'm beginning to automate my process. I'm beginning to automate my dispatching. And that's where you want to get to. But first you need to learn the basics. You need to understand the techniques and the commonalities in dispatching with the dispatch agreement, the profile, and those other documents from the very beginning, calling the carriers, that script, calling the brokers, that script, asking those extra low detailed questions and things like that. So any questions, guys? I hope I didn't overwhelm you with that information, but that's a way to go from beginners to advanced, or intermediate, I should say. And I'm personally setting up brokers myself because I'm doing what I just said. I'm actually starting to do that. I'm starting to plot different brokers who have freight in certain areas, So then I'm going to create my own like virtual dispatching load board where I've already established, okay, I know for a fact that there's brokers over here with this type of equipment type, which is one of the 3 that we focus on that run loads out of there all the time. Once you guys put your carriers in that lane, and then boom, I know some down here in this area who has loads running out here all the time going over here. Once you put your carriers for this equipment type, once you put your carriers in that lane going to here. And then again, I got some brokers over here who have lanes coming out of there going back up to my other broker in the beginning lane. So now there's that triangular coordinate on the map. Put them in there all the time, run them all the time. And now you just automated your process. Correct. That's a good advice, Charles. If you have fears about doing this, then start with making the dispatch agreement and profile with your information. Next, start making calls to email your dispatch agreement and carrier profile. That is true. Very good advice, Charles. Very good advice. Stephanie says, how do we figure out lanes? Well, a lane is anywhere from origin to destination. So when you get a carrier under a dispatch agreement and then you go to the load board to find a load for that carrier, that load, where it's picking up from and going to, that is the lane. That is a lane. So anything from origin to destination is considered a lane for whatever equipment type. Equipment type being dry van, flatbed, or reefer. That is the lane. And in the ebooks, I think you got a copy of the ebooks I sent you. All the basic terminology in the ebooks and the glossary is explained. So refer to the ebooks and glossaries too as a reference. But always ask me a question. I can answer to you like directly. But you have your reference. You have your reference material as well. So, and there's my contact information. I'm always available. I'm starting to get a little bit busy, but I'm still reachable. And there's my email. So, okay, guys. Friday, if there's not any more questions, so some of us reefer list from thinking entrepreneurially, as you mentioned, in terms of placing carriers with loads. Yeah, those loads are still good. I still get emails from that. Is that the one is that the Pro Transportation one, RG? I think that, cause I just got an email from them that's like literally. Let me check my email. Is that Pro Transportation that I sent? Yeah, Pro Transportation, Mike Joyce. Yeah, Mike Joyce, that's right. Yep. Yeah. He sends it to me every morning. Every morning, so. And those are reefer lanes coming out of the New York area, Virginia area. I'm looking here on the phone now, and they're going to either East Coast, like Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, or down to Virginia. That's as far as they go. So you may set up a triangular from the New York to VA, back up to New York kind of thing, or over to the Midwest. So could I get a few, some whatever you have to offer so I can build my base? Yeah, sure. You just email me, and then cause please email anything you want from me that I can provide for you, especially if you are a member of Dispatchers 101 Training for Beginners. I'm assuming you are. I can send to you. So, and then starting May 1st, non-members can join for $100 to get access to the some of the load boards and maintain access and guest appearances and things like that for $9.99 a month. Members joining for $249 will be subscription based to maintain access for $19.99 a month for members. So and that's lifetime, and that's forever for as long as you need the training. So. And we're adding to it as we go, making changes to the website, the design, making it more user friendly. So, yeah, email me directly, RG. Are you a member? Are you Dispatcher 101? Okay. All right. Any other questions, especially for the beginners? I think all the beginners have gotten out. They gotten what they need. They chewed on the meat and discarded the bone. All right, guys. What's today? Wednesday. I'll see you Friday. There'll be some changes to the website. More changes too. So, all right. Any other questions outside of this? Just give me a call. All right, Lex. Thank you. Guys, have a good. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? It's hump day, right? Like the commercial. That commercial cracks me up. All right.